You can learn Japanese after you arrive in Japan. Students planning to study in Japan have heard this for years. For people entering a Japanese language school from the October 2026 intake, this is no longer true. Today, I will explain the new Japanese language rule for language school admission. To enter a Japanese language school, you have always needed some Japanese. The guideline level is called A1. A1 means you can introduce yourself. You can have a simple conversation about everyday topics if the other person speaks slowly. Until now, there was one common way to prove this on your visa application. A document saying, this student studied Japanese for 150 hours or more. A test result or an interview by the school was not always required. Under the new system, this changes. What is checked now is not your study record, it is your real ability. Can you actually speak and understand? This is confirmed in one of two ways: a test or an interview. Way number one, a test certificate. You pass a Japanese test that immigration accepts as a 1 level or above. The most famous one is JLPT N5. But there are others, for example, NAT test level 5 or higher, and J test level F or higher. The full list is in the description. Always check with your school and check the latest official information to see which test you can use. Way number two, an interview by your school. The Japanese language school you are entering checks your Japanese directly, for example in an online interview, and reports the result in your application documents. Here's the important part. This is not just a short greeting or a simple self-introduction. In the interview, the school uses real test questions or questions at the same level to check objectively. Do you really have A1 ability or above? The school must write the method and the result in your application documents. Both ways lead to the same conclusion. A paper saying 150 hours is no longer enough to prove your Japanese ability in your visa application. There are two starting dates. Which one applies to you depends on where you apply from. If you are applying from overseas, a new student applying for the Certificate of Eligibility, the COE, the new rule applies from the October 2026 intake. If you are already in Japan, and you apply to change or extend your status to enter a language school, it applies to applications from July 1st, 2026. So if you are preparing to study at a Japanese language school now, think of it this way. Almost everyone is under the new rule. Do not spend your energy asking, can my application make it in time? Spend it on building real ability. That is the only sure path. Under the old method, it was possible to prove the requirement with only a 150-hour study record, not actual ability. So immigration reviewed the system to check more reliably that students really have the Japanese they need before coming to Japan. And here's what I want to tell you directly. If an agent says, you don't need to study Japanese, we will prepare the documents, those documents no longer work. And coming to Japan without real ability is the hardest road for you. You can't follow the classes, you fail part-time job interviews. You can't do simple daily procedures. Preparation protects you. 1. Start studying Japanese today. As a rough guide, the old 150-hour standard means about 5 months at 1 hour a day, or about 2.5 months at 2 hours a day. But remember, what you need is not a record of hours. It is real A1 ability. 2. Plan backward from test dates. JLPT is held twice a year. Some tests like NAT tests and J tests are held more often. Check the schedule in your country and count backward from your intake. 3. Ask your school, will you use a test or an interview? Your preparation depends on the answer. 4. Do not leave everything to an agent. An agent can prepare papers. But in the interview, the person speaking is you. Studying at a Japanese language school has changed from a paper about study hours to a check of real ability, a test, or an interview. Either way, what you need is real A1. If you have friends planning to come to Japan, share this video with them. If they prepare without knowing this, they will face trouble right before their application. We share information about work and life in Japan on this channel. Subscribe and start studying today. If you're already in Japan and want to talk about your next step or a job, the link is in the description.